So as I'm talking to you guys right now, there's actually a mass shooting going on, or it just ended right before I came on air, maybe an hour or an hour and a half before I came on air. There were the breaking news tweets that I saw, and I've been getting little updates here and there. I didn't have enough time to get all the information and all the facts and do a full segment for you. I'll do that on tomorrow's show, and we don't really know all the details yet. I know it was in California. I know there's at least a dozen victims, and when I say victims, I mean people who died. But some reports are saying up to 20 people who were shot or injured in one way or another. 3 people with masks were doing it. Again, I'll get to all the facts on it tomorrow. But what's crazy is, before that happened, I was researching for the show earlier today, and I came across a story on a shooting that I'm covering, and I'm going to cover for you right now. And as soon as I'm done covering the story on a shooting, there's a bigger shooting, a mass shooting that happens. And it's gotten to the point in the U.S. where you're like, oh, of course. Of course. We're so numb to it because it happens. Well, what the fuck else did I expect to happen? You know, when was the last shooting we had? Well, you had the Planned Parenthood one, the terror attack a few days ago, 3 days ago? And then the one before that, I mean, look, it happens once a month? Thereabouts? And it should shock us, but it doesn't shock us, and that's the problem. So again, I'll get to the newer mass shooting on the show tomorrow, and perhaps it's actually a terror attack. I don't know yet. I don't know. There's some reports that say it's near Planned Parenthood. I have no clue if that's related, so don't take that to the bank yet. But we'll cover that one tomorrow. But here's the other shooting story, which I was going to cover for you today. A 74-year-old guy named Franklin Martinez was angry at his neighbor because he dared to do something really crazy like park in front of his house. So he confronted him about moving his car, but there was some sort of argument and altercation that broke out, and the guy refused to do so. So naturally, Martinez took out a gun and shot his neighbor, Manuel Lopez, in the face. An argument over a parking spot escalated to somebody getting shot in the face. So, thankfully, this guy did not die. He's in critical condition. Somehow he's expected to survive. Martinez fled the scene, but he was arrested pretty quickly thereafter. Now, again, to get back to my main point here, I tell you this story because while mass shootings happen once a month, roughly, thereabouts, these kinds of shootings happen every day in America. That's not an exaggeration. Every day. And, you know, so we like to focus on, or we cover a lot, not just us, but the mainstream media covers terrorism, the big events, and not just in the U.S., but we discuss, and we should discuss this to be clear, Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, ISIS, all these things that are going on. But when it comes to mass shootings here at home, we're so numb to it that nobody even thinks about doing some sort of policy response because, it's just another day in America. But if brown people or black people or Muslims or somebody else might do something that hurts us, then we can just start talking about what to do. And usually we do the wrong things in response to that policy-wise as well. But when it's our own, that's effectively the response. So I want to go ahead and refresh your memory on some facts here when it comes to gun violence in America. Run-of-the-mill, standard gun violence. Slate reports the following, quote, roughly 105,114 people have died from guns in the U.S. since the Newtown shootings, which happened in 2013. From 2013 until today. 105,114 people have died. To put that in perspective for you, that's double the number of U.S. deaths in World War I. That's double the number of deaths in Vietnam. That's more than 20 times the number of U.S. deaths in Iraq and Afghanistan on our soil since 2013. Now, understand something, guys. This is usually the part of the story where straw mans start to get thrown out by the right at me and at others who agree with me. Where they, oh, yeah, I want to ban guns. That's what you want to do. You want to ban guns. I guess you should ban alcohol because some people do bad things to alcohol. Yeah, but see, that's why I cleverly never said I want to ban guns. If I believe it, perhaps I would have fucking said it, but I didn't. So, what is the response? The response is not to do nothing, because that would be stupid. There was a Harvard meta-analysis that said very simply, where there are more guns, there is more homicide. That's not a liberal hoax. That's a fact. It's based off numerous credible studies, and that's why Harvard put them together. It's called a meta-analysis, and they looked at the results. That was the results. People like to say, these shootings only happen in areas where it's gun-free zones. Not true at all. Only 13% of mass shootings happen where there's a gun-free zone. So the problem is we have over 300 million guns in America, weak gun laws, and lo and behold, there's more gun deaths. So, you know, we have more suicides, homicides, accidents, you name it. About 32,000 people die every year on average. 32,000. If 32,000 were killed on American soil by Muslim terrorists, oh my God, we would declare war on the entire Muslim world. But when it's our own, killing our own, can't even get a fucking background check passed. Now, again, I'm not in favor of banning guns, but I am in favor of common sense reform. I would do a massive gun buyback program where I try to give people an offer they can't refuse, where they want to turn in their guns, and we can chip away at that 300 million guns in circulation number. I would do that. I would do a universal background check. Background check on all gun purchases. I would have strict requirements. You don't want people, bipolar disorder, severe depression, past criminal histories. You don't want people like that getting guns, and it makes sense to keep guns out of their hands. I would do a ban on high-capacity magazines. I would do a ban on certain kinds of assault weapons. I would, in some circumstances, have permits for certain kinds of guns where it would make sense to have said permits. Guys, I'm a reasonable person. I'm open to different conversation and debate and discussion about what's the proper policy response and what exactly we need to implement. But certainly the answer isn't doing nothing, because we've done nothing all along, and the problem's still here, and it's getting worse. For all the right-wingers who say, no, more guns equals more peace. No, but I just told you. The U.S. has more guns than virtually every other modern nation. And we also have more gun deaths. So you are simply wrong. You are objectively and empirically wrong when you say, well, more guns is the answer. Well, then why is it that we already don't have the most peaceful society? Because we already have more guns. We already have weaker gun laws than the rest of the modern world. And we have more mass shootings, more gun deaths, more suicides, more homicides, more accidents, you name it, more gun deaths. So you're wrong, you're incorrect. And the answer is not ban everything. And the answer is not fucking gun anarchy and let everybody have whatever they want, rocket launchers, tanks, nuclear weapons, whatever. The answer is something in the middle, which is sane and effective and can make it so we limit the number of gun deaths in the U.S. That's not too much to ask, or else this is going to keep happening all the time.